Hey G45ers, welcome. Today we are going to be diving in to making these beautiful Z-fold, double Z-fold cards using our latest collection, Imagine. And I'm Amy, I'm one of the creative developers here at Graphic 45, and I'm going to be showing you how to create these different cards. We're using, of course, our Club G45 kit. This is volume 7. If you're not already a member, you definitely are going to want to become one, because every month we're sending out a kit showing you how to make these different projects. This is just one of 2 of the projects included in volume 7. So check out the details below for the monthly kit for all the details about the monthly kit. So come on a little closer and let's get started on making these Z-fold cards. All right, so now we are going to start creating these double Z cards, and we are going to create this beautiful pink card with the lovely lady. I just love this, the 3-dimension that it has, and it also stands up so perfectly like that. And then there's also the second option to do the one with the blue kind of background, and this one has a little bit more of a masculine feel to it. So you could kind of cater this for more of a guy, and you could even change the stamp on the front too, and maybe a few of the other elements if you wanted to give this as a masculine gift. So let's pull out our supplies. Just put those there for now. So the first thing, you want to grab one of the hot air balloon papers, and we are going to cut this 10 inches across by 7 inches. So you want to make sure hot air balloons are right side up, so 10 inches across by 7 inches. Then you're going to cut one of the papers with the words in the same pink peachy color, and you're going to cut this one to the same dimension. So it's going to be 10 inches across as far as the width, but then it's only 2.5 inches down. So 10 inches by 2.5 on this one. So once you have those 2 papers cut, and we are on step 1 on the project sheet. Of course, you're using your handy dandy project sheet to follow along, so you can reference all the sizes and everything there. So now we're going to do some scoring, and with my score pal here, I'm going to I'm going to score at 2.5, just down, and then also at 5. So once I've scored that there, I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to grab my hot air balloons, and I'm going to score this at 5 and also at 7.5. So I'm going to score that with the cream size facing up, and that's little Issa in the background. So I've scored those 2 pieces. I set my scoreboard aside, and then I've come in here and I've been using my dark cashmere, which is included in this volume 7's Club G45 kit. So I've inked my edges. Looks like some of these edges need a little bit more inking on there. So I've inked my edges up so everything looks nice and finished. And I'm going to set these pieces aside to be used momentarily. Now I'm going to move on to step 2. In step 2, I'm grabbing my pink and peach rose paper from my Patterns and Solids pad, and I'm going to cut the first sheet, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then I'm going to cut 2 of the 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. So I've got those pieces all cut. Then I'm going to also grab my little butterfly paper, and I'm going to cut the first piece to 4 3/4, and then the second piece I'm going to cut to 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, a little square, and then I'll cut another one of those, so another 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I have those pieces cut. And as you can see, I have inked the edges, so they're looking ready to go. Now I'm going to take out my ink pad and also my stamp set that comes with the monthly kit. And I'm going to grab the lady and also the little gears. We're going to do some stamping. I'm going to put her down on my nice little stamp block, and then I'm going to grab the gears. Put that on the other end of there. So the first thing, I'm going to stamp the lady on the top of one of these tall strips. So I'm going to ink her up. And then I am going to just kind of ink her with her head, actually the top corner of her head kind of going off the edge is okay. Got that on there, and I just love what that looks like with the over the pattern with the roses. And just take this and with the gear stamps, we're just going to be placing it just kind of randomly on and off of the paper to create a different effect on the paper. So one there. Maybe have it run off the top there. And maybe one off the bottom down here. Okay. And then I'm going to do a couple on this bigger sheet as well. I'm going to turn it the other direction. All right, so now I've added some ink, some stamps to the papers there. Now I'm going to start gluing down my pieces. So I'm going to first take the peachy pink part and I'm going to glue it down to each one of these longer strips. Will get glued down there. And I'm using some Tombow liquid adhesive because it's nice and easy and fast for the video, but you are welcome, of course, to use your personal favorite adhesive. So I want to glue the lady down on this front flap. So we want her to be on the outside of the card. But like I had mentioned, if you're going to be doing this in like a more masculine colorway, you could definitely switch up the stamps and not use the lady and use one of the other stamps that is more neutral. There's a hot air balloon that's really cool that would be great for a guy's card. And these double Z cards are so cool. And I like them because it's a great gift, just not only for a card, but it's a card that you want to put on display. You receive one of these. And this card, as well as the other part of the Volume 7, of course, is created by our wonderful project designer, Annette Green. And many of you graphic 45ers out there are, I'm sure, already huge Annette Green fans, but if you're not already, you should follow her online because she is such a talented artist. So once we have adhered those pieces down, now I want to take my smaller strip, and I'm going to glue these down. And so the way that this, you want to make sure your butterflies are right side up. So you want to make sure this longer piece is on your left side, because that's going to go across the front of the card. And so I've got my butterflies, they're right side up here. I'm going to glue that down there. And these butterflies have the little clocks in the center, so really cute. All right. Okay. So I've glued down those butterflies on that piece. So that is where we are with step 3. Now what we're going to do is we are going to glue this down to our card. So how we're going to do that is we're going to, let's see, we have about maybe a ½ inch or so, and we're going to just put adhesive all across the back of this to glue this down to the front of the card. All right, about a 1/4 of an inch up all the way to the left side. Just make sure that gets nice on there. Perfect. And then the back piece is just going to line up perfectly with the back side. So now I'm just going to put adhesive on the back of this little square here, which makes it really easy to see where that adhesive needs to go. Try not to put too much, so I'm not dealing with a huge mess. And that's just going to go flat on there like that. I'm just going to press that down, and I apologize if I have the sniffles. I have the allergies really bad. So try. So, all right. So there you can see right there is our Z fold, the beginning. You can see it coming together so nicely already. And so once we have that step done there, I'm going to move on to step 5 in your project sheet. And so step 5, we're going to grab a couple different things. You're going to grab this Create Your Dream, Your Own Dream, from your ephemera pack. That's one of the smaller 2x3s. And then you're going to also grab this one that has a flower on it that says Everything You Can Imagine Is Real. We're going to be using the B side of that. And then we also have 2 of the Peach Rose papers that are cut from 3.5 by 3/4, and we've scored each end a ½ inch in. So again, we're going to grab, you want to grab some of that peach paper, peachy pink, and you're going to cut this down to 3.5 by 3/4, and then you're going to score it in on each end at a ½ inch. So you'll do that to both of those papers. Then you're going to also grab your gold paper, there's the ivory words on the back, and you're going to cut that down to 1 5/8 by ½ inch. So once you've cut those papers, then we'll be ready to go. So what we're going to do with these papers is these are going to go inside our handy dandy card to offer the ability for us to place these little pop-ups. So you see this little rose and our lady. So we're putting those in there so we can have a place to put our lady and our flower. So what I want to do is I want to take my little tab, and I'm actually going to use some score tape for this because I don't want it wiggling around like the liquid adhesive might. So we're going to use some score tape. So I'm just going to put score tape on those tabs on the ends. All right. Pop-up cards are so fun because I think it's not just a card, it's like the actual gift is the card. So I'm putting tape on the solid side of the paper. That way and I also want the solid side to be what's viewable from my side of things. So when you're putting that in there, you want to be looking at that, if that makes sense, from this angle. And I want to put this in there vertically. And I'm going to try and go halfway or just down about a half an inch or so from the top. Okay. And then I'm going to put the next one just behind it. And all right, so now you can see I have added those in there, and so those are going to give me the ability to close, which is nice. And then I can add my little dimensional fussy cut pieces to that. So once I have done that, I'm going to add these ephemera cards. So first I'm going to take this dream, create your own dream, and I'm going to add that just to the front here, like so, just right in the center. Okay. So I'm going to add that right to the center, up about 1/4 of an inch or so. You can see. And then I'm going to also add inside, I'm going to add this other piece with the B side facing up, so you can have a little area in the card for journaling. And I'm just going to center that in the back there. Actually, maybe I want it to go a little bit over to the right. It's not too late. Okay, you can see that's just looking beautiful. I love that create your own dream ephemera card. Now I'm going to grab all right, so I have grabbed my metal piece that of course came in your ornate metal keyhole package that comes with your kit. And so I've grabbed that piece, and the little piece that we had cut out, the little gold piece, that is what we're going to use to go on the back side of this. So I'm going to glue that down. And how I'm going to do that is with some score tape over the top. And so put that down on the center. Take my score tape, have that go over the top. I'm gonna get cut off my excess score tape here. And then I'm just gonna go with my scissors and I'm gonna cut off the extra. So. Okay, so I've done that with the scissors. I'm gonna take a little bit more off of there, the top. Okay. So now I'm gonna take this adhesive off, or the backing of the adhesive off. Let me say. And it's sticking to my fingers all too well. So now I want to put this down, and I'm going to put this just in this corner. And just hold that down. And then that just goes over like so. Perfect. Looks beautiful. So now we have the keyhole attached. Now we're moving on to step 8. So step 8, we're going to do some fussy cutting, and we're going to do some fussy cutting from the ephemera cards. And so first we want to fussy cut out the large butterfly with the clock, the roses with the leaves, and also that butterfly. Then I'm going to cut out the 2 roses and then their leaves there. And then I'm going to cut out the lady, since we're doing the cute little lady. So we'll get started with cutting out the lady. So with cutting out, with fussy cutting, which is one of our kind of go-to things that we love to do here at G45, because all of our decorative papers are so, there's a lot of really wonderful imagery. One thing that I'm sure you know as a graphic 45er, that we love just getting into the paper and cutting it out. I think that one of the biggest things that people initially say when they start crafting with G45 is that they think it's really beautiful, but they don't dare cut into it because they just want to look at it. And so that's why we always suggest, and you can see I'm going to actually take this book out of her hand and I'm just going to cut that right out. So we don't want it in this. So, but a lot of people don't want to cut into it, and so that's why I always say that's great with our collection packs. There's 2 at least of every sheet in there, and so you can have one to save, to admire until you dare cut it or use it, and then you have one that you can get in and you can use it however you like. And so we really love cutting these apart, and that's one thing that I think is really neat about this particular project is we're actually cutting apart the ephemera cards. A lot of times people use the ephemera cards for a lot of different things, but usually they're keeping them intact. And so this is such a cool way to actually think outside the box with the ephemera cards and using those like one of our decorative sheets, because we're going to have this really cute lady as one of the signature pieces of this double Z card. And as you can see, I'm just working my scissors with the paper, just kind of strategically moving the paper around. And since it's on a ephemera card paper, so it's already a small enough paper that it's really easy to work with. I suggest usually if you're starting with like a 12 by 12 sheet of paper to cut it down, cut around the image loosely so you have a lot smaller surface area that you're working with. It makes it really easy just to get in there and cut it out. And we're just gonna cut her skirt out like so. And she's just gonna become a really fun piece. Reminds me of paper dolls. My sister Shari and I had huge paper doll collections growing up. So definitely brings back a lot of those memories. So as you can see, now we have super adorable woman with her wings. Now I'm going to ink up the edges and I'm going to fussy cut out all those other elements that we went over. All right, so I have fussy cut out my 4 little pieces and I have inked the edges so they look nice and finished. Now I can start gluing the remaining pieces to my card. So what I'm going to do is I am going to first glue my lady down, and I want her to kind of be popping out. So I want her to be higher up on that. So I'm going to put some adhesive down across the bottom of her dress. And I'm using score tape here because I want her to be on there, really have a good, be nice and strong, strongly attached there. I want her to be over to the right as much as possible. And then I'm going to glue down my roses. And so the way that we want the roses is we want it kind of sticking up here. So I'm going to put some down on that bottom rose. All right. I think just these cards, there's so many possibilities of what you could do. And that's actually all right. Up. Kind of hard to get in there, but gotta kind of just pinch that down. And then I'm going to add my other little elements. All right. Now I'd love to add, I want to put my little butterfly just right up here in the center, maybe over a little bit. I'm going to add a little adhesive down there. Right, and now I want to put my roses up on a little 3D adhesive and add those to the back there. I'm just gonna roll up the edges with the end of my scissors here to pop the roses up. I'm gonna grab some quick 3D adhesive here. And as you can see, that the card is just coming together beautifully. And it was so quick too. So just think how you could make one of these for one of your friends or loved ones. Just add that piece there. And as you can see, we have this gorgeous Z card just like that created. And so if you wanted, like we showed before, you could also create this with a different colorway with all of those extra pieces that you have in your kits. And you can just incorporate different fussy cut items. Like on this one is a little house and the little guy with the wings and the couple on the front. So super cute. So thanks again for joining us. If you haven't checked out the wallet video that goes with the monthly kit, make sure to do that as well. And if you have questions about the monthly series, be sure to check out the details below. But thanks so much for joining and have a great day.